Hello everybody, and welcome. Josie Moon here with Mighty Moon Medicine. Let's talk some astrology, shall we? So I want to kind of break down what the year so far has been like and what to expect for the rest of this year in astrology, because my friends, it's a huge year. We have all of the outer planets moving from water and earth into air and fire. These are very different elemental signatures. As you can imagine, water and earth is very slow and has this, more dense energy to it, while air and fire is a very different situation. It's our mind and it's our spirit and our creative energy that's getting revolutionized with these outer planets all changing signs. Some have, and some have yet to change. But nonetheless, in 2026, we feel this. So let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning of 2026 to understand kind of what so far has happened this year and where are we going. I like to just say overall, the bigger themes of this year are sovereignty, our authenticity, and a recalibration of our values. And I'm going to get into why for each of those pillars. So let's talk about February. In February, we kicked off with a solar new moon eclipse in the sign of Aquarius on February 17th. This was a big deal because it was the initial eclipse point for the next set of nodes. We are currently in the nodal structure of Pisces North Node, Virgo South Node, right? Since January 2025. In July, mid-July, we're going to switch out of Pisces North Node into Aquarius and out of Virgo South Node and into Leo. So on February 17th, that new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius was that very first opening for this energy. The opening of the next destiny point, which is the North Node, right? What does the North Node do? The North Node gets us on our most aligned path forward, right? It's ushering this energy, the highest expression of the Aquarian energy. And for now, this is Pisces. But that's what the North Node does. Gets us into those highest expressions of that archetypal energy, because as we know, all archetypes have a shadow version of energy, a more underexpressed, shadowy terrain, and then we have these higher expressions of these energies. So the North Node is getting us all on our path forward. Thank goodness for North Nodes, right? This is about this collective energy that's pulling all of us in a direction that is getting us more aligned. What is right for us now? So that new moon on the 17th of February was the initiation, because the nodes stay for 18 months. So think back to February 17th and what was going on in your life. Look to where you have Aquarius in your chart to know how this shows up for you. Is it your sun sign? Is it your rising sign? Is Aquarius, do you have Mars in Aquarius? Do you have Venus in Aquarius? Which house? Because this is going to show the area of life where this new opening is going to be happening. If you're unsure of this, reach out. I love going through this with people in their charts in a one-on-one session. Okay, so that happened, right? That happened in February. Also, on the 20th of February, we had a very big signature where we had Neptune the ruler of Pisces. He's basically Poseidon himself. Neptune and Saturn made a conjunction at 0 Aries. 0 Aries, my friends. This is the very first moment of the zodiac. It is the beginning. It is 0 point. In the tarot, it is the Fool. The world is your oyster. This is a big deal because Neptune moves quite slow. It's been 100-ish years since Neptune. It takes Neptune 100 plus years to get all the way around the zodiac. So he went all the way around the zodiac. He's been in Pisces since 2012, casting this strong confusion, dissolving delusion in the sign of Pisces, where we were all just kind of like swimming around and being like, wow, what's real? What's not real? Do I have boundaries? Am I tapping into my imagination? What are my dreams like, right? So he has been in his rulership of Pisces for a while, since 2012. That was murky. That was foggy. It was beautiful, and it was challenging. So he finally left Pisces and entered Aries, the beginning of the zodiac, primal fire. And he didn't just land there by himself. Who met up with him? Saturn, our lord of karma and time and structure, our planet of discipline, our planet that is here to help us all self-master. That's Saturn. He's considered a malefic in astrology, which means everyone's like, ugh, Saturn is so heavy. But really, I love Saturn because we would never grow without Saturn. We need Saturn. We're here to evolve. We're here in this school called Earth, which, by the way, from what I hear, is the hardest planet school in the solar system. It's not an easy place to be. And so Saturn is what helps us move through lessons that we need to move through. And he does it in a tough love kind of way. He's not like, he's not patting us on the head and saying, you're going to get through this. He's saying, try it again. Do it differently. You forgot that. You forgot this. Don't forget to add this. So when Saturn and Neptune meet up at 0 degrees of Aries, this is such an initiation point. It's a conception of this new chapter that's coming. And this is my first pillar that I wanted to bring in, and it's called sovereignty. What does that even mean? Well, the Aries archetype ushers in this feeling of sovereignty, because Aries is about having your own head and mind and self-empowerment so that you know how to direct your life. Not her, not them, not the news, not mainstream, not the celebrities. You. You. That's what this energy is about. Now, when that happened, that conjunction, Aries got ignited. Aries is ignited now. So, where do you have Aries in your chart? Are you an Aries moon? Are you an Aries rising? Is your Mars in Aries? What house is Aries in? Because Aries has this grand initiation. Once we hit Aries season, which was on the vernal equinox, things started to move. Saturn is in Aries to make sure that whatever we're starting in Aries, and mind you, this isn't like a typical Aries, new Aries season. This is like the initiation into a new chapter of our lives, if not a new book. For some of us, it's a new book. For a lot of us, it's a new book because it's things that we've never experienced before. It's completely uncharted territories. Neptune and Saturn at 0 degrees. What are we imagining? What are we dreaming alive? Neptune is about our dreams, our imagination. And Saturn is there to make sure that we have a reality check that we can actually do this. And he's there for 2.5 years. We want to lean into this energy, my friends. We want to lean into the structure and the hard lessons and the discipline that Saturn is here to offer us in the Aries part of our chart. So here's the deal. We want to make sure that whatever we're starting, whatever we're doing in this Aries part of our chart, we're doing it because we want it to last. We want it to be a sustainable part of our lives. It's not just a, fling of a situation here. This is something that we really want to integrate into our path. And we're willing to do the hard work because that's Saturn. We're willing to put in all that energy, all those efforts because we want to see it come to life. Now, it has to do with our sovereignty. It has to do with what we want for ourselves. How are you being your own leader? How are you being that ambitious ram that knows who they are? Now, if I could just add to the fact that we've had Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries since 2018. We've all been working through this wound, and mind you, it's a lot more powerful for people who have their natal Chiron in Aries. But this is about learning to be self-empowered, learning to be sovereign, learning to be independent. There's a wound here. Chiron shows us where there's a wound, where we picked up somewhere along the way that we're not empowered. We don't have this sovereignty. We're relying on others to make our decisions for us or to sway what we think is right for us. So that is what makes this even more potent. We had a new moon just a few days ago in Aries on the 17th. Yes, on the 17th of April. We had a new moon in Aries. And this was the real kicking it off point. Because whenever there's a new moon, that means that there's a brand new initiation. We are starting something. We are planting seeds. And we are bringing forth this beautiful sovereign part of ourselves. What is true for us? What do we need now? How can we bring this new version of the healed Chiron and Aries into our lives in this new chapter? We're showing up differently. We're showing up more empowered. We're showing up with more clarity and with a strong work ethic, because Saturn is here to make sure we are crossing our T's and dotting our I's. So again, look at where you have Aries in your chart. For example, if you have Aries in the 10th house of your career, likely this is a brand new venture for you. You're starting something new in your career. If you have Aries in your first house, if you're an Aries rising, this is about the way you're showing up in the world. It's very different. It's way more embodied. It's way more driven and with leadership and with sovereignty. Beautiful. So let us talk about the nodes and what we've been working with the nodes. So we know we have this initiatory energy of Aquarius kicking off for the next set of nodes. We know we got Aries season, we got sovereignty and Saturn and Neptune. And I want to just rewind and remind us all where we've been since January 2025. We've been with Pisces as the north node and Virgo as the south node. So Pisces as the north node, look at where you have Pisces in your chart. What has been going on in Pisces? Whatever's going on in the Piscean area of your chart is literally getting you prepared for what is next. We have all been invited to trust the universe. Lean into flow. Forgiveness. Has there been themes of forgiveness in your life? Where have you forgiven others and you have healed immensely because of that forgiveness? This is Pisces. Compassion, empathy, and trusting that you are held. How many of us are in a very uncertain time right now? How many of us are like literally at a crossroads where we're just like, oh my gosh, that was me. I'm in this middle portal and I know what's coming. I think I know what's coming. This is about trusting, because we are very, very much, my dears, shedding a part of us that we will never, ever return to again. And so it's about trusting that we are held by our higher selves, by ourselves now, by the universe, by Source God, whatever it is that you believe in, while relinquishing control, because the Virgo has been the South Node, and the shadow aspects of Virgo are control. Where have you been holding a tight grip in your life? What needs to be released? Where have you been a perfectionist? Where are you obsessed with getting it right before you start? You don't need that. Just start. Follow your light, follow your excitement, and start. It doesn't need to be perfect. Where do you have really high expectations for yourself, for others? This is the shadow side of Virgo. And on the 3rd of March, we had a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo, helping us shed all of these things, all of these aspects. And we're not done yet. We're not done yet, because we go all the way till mid-July with these nodes. So lean into that trust, relinquish that control. Because we are moving into a different set of nodes. Now, before that happens, I want to just say there's something big in the air, and it's Uranus. I've been talking so much about this because it is such a big deal. We've had Uranus and Taurus, fixed sign. You know what I'm talking about. If you have Taurus, if you have strong Taurian energy, you know what I am talking about. And honestly, I plan on doing this. I'm going to make a story about how I bow to Uranus, because Uranus changed my life for the better as a Taurus moon, 29 degrees anoretic. That was hard. It was hard for anybody that has strong Taurian placements. But the fruits at the end, my dears, make it all worth it. So Uranus is leaving Taurus and moving into Gemini on the 25th, 26th, depending on where you are in the world. That's this Sunday. That's so soon. Today's the 20th. Today is the beginning of Taurus season. Hallelujah. New Taurus. And on Sunday, the 25th, 26th, he enters Gemini. This is massive. It's massive. It's probably the biggest energetic transit of the year, just because we are leaving. Uranus is the great awakener. He's here to wake us up where we're sleeping. He's here to be like, I'm gonna rip that rug out from under you. It's gonna be shocking. It's gonna be a little disturbing, but it's for your highest good, because you need to wake up here. So when Uranus hits Gemini, a mutable air sign, this feels way easier than a fixed earth sign of Taurus. Gemini's the mind, remember? This is going to help people wake up. We need this. We need people to wake up. We need new perspectives. We need new mindsets. We need new ways of thinking. We need people to be like, wow, I've never seen that before. That's Uranus. Just be careful. This is the one, maybe downside of this transit. If you are a person that is very much stuck in your mind and it's hard to turn it off, this could add a lot more mental chatter because Uranus is electricity. And in the mind, that can be monkey mind, not able to shut off your thoughts. So the advice here is to embody. Embody. Get in the body. Get in the body. Get in the body. Okay, now let's get into the second pillar I was talking about, which is authenticity. This is because our nodes are coming into the authenticity axis. In mid-July, we have Aquarius will be the north node and Leo will be the south node. We're moving from trust and flow into step into your authentic self. Aquarius is power to the people. We have Pluto in Aquarius. This is power to the people. Think about that. Collective empowerment. Everyone feeling that urge to be a humanitarian. Everybody feeling that, energy of like, how can we uplift each other? I got the chills. I got the chills just thinking about it. While our beautiful Leo on the other side of the axis, the polarity of Aquarius, is getting the South Node purge. This is gorgeous because it's about releasing the masks that we think we have to wear. It's about shedding the ego. The shadow side of Leo is the ego. Because at the end of this, my friends, after these 18 months, what happens to the South Node? And I know everyone's like, oh, the South Node, it's so hard. It's going to be so hard for Leos. But no, think of it as this. You're getting this gorgeous distillation, this pure, refined version of Leo energy at the end of it. And what is that? Radical courage and authentic shine. Shedding these parts that you think you have to walk around with. You know how exhausting it is to walk around with masks on? It's so much better when you can just be you. And that's what this South Node purging, stripping out is going to help us do while empowering the people. Not to mention you're getting Jupiter, Leos. You're getting Jupiter in your sign, getting blessings and abundance and expansion, while this pulling out of the impurities, the masks, the ego of Leo. What is at the end of this 18-month transit? It is like a pure plant medicine tincture is how I like to talk about it because I do plant medicine. What does the tincture have? The plant's most potent, energetic properties. And that is what Leo is going to be at the end of this. So that's why my second pillar is about authenticity. How are you showing up more authentic? I can do a whole separate video about what that even means. What does authenticity mean? The third pillar of this year is about recalibration of values because we have a 41-day retrograde starting in October of Venus in Scorpio. Wow. That is looking at our self-love, our relationships, our deservingness, our values, our resources, our jobs, how we make our money. All of that is going to be under a deep revision. And why deep? Because it's Scorpio. There's nothing shallow or surficial about Scorpio. It's about going into the muck, going into the deepest parts of self, of relationship, of the way you make your resources, of your values, of your self-worth, of your self-love, and understanding, wow, what do I need to recalibrate? What is not part of my sovereign, authentic story anymore? What is old me? And how can I make this amazing recalibration with the new me? And this is going to be a 41-day retrograde. As I said, it's going to tone and color all of the fall into the winter solstice. It's a beautiful year, my friends. It's a beautiful, beautiful year. And the only way to really work with these energies is to flow with them, is to allow them. It's really the only way to work with anything in life. Let go or be dragged. I can thank my cousin for that one. So buckle up, enjoy the ride, get excited, stay open, drop into your heart. Leo's in the South Node starting in July. We got Jupiter in Leo this summer. Drop into your heart. And be you. See you next time.